JV back with another crypto news alert. In this video, we're going to be talking about Max Keiser's tweet, which he just shared today, saying he believes and predicts Bitcoin will reach $15,000. We're going to discuss this as well as some of the responses, which has been very intriguing to say the least. We're also going to be diving deep, talking about the Bitcoin halving coming up in May of 2020. We're going to look at the previous cycles back in 2012 as well as 2016, so we can try to predict what may come here in the future coming up, because these are very exciting times. And Walmart, go figure, they announced that they're working on their own stable coin. Now that Facebook has come out and shared their plans with Libra, it would not surprise me if all these tech giants, as well as all these major corporations, start wanting to release their own coin. I mean, why wouldn't they? So we'll talk about that as well. This is a big day in the crypto space. Tomorrow is the Litecoin halving. How will this affect the crypto market? Will it have any effect at all? What's going to happen to Litecoin prices? Will they increase? Will they decline? Let's talk about that. And we're also going to be talking about Bitcoin prices. We're currently just under the $11,000 mark. There's a lot of bullish signs in the market right now. Do I believe that we're going to hit 15K this week? Stay tuned and find out. So let's do this. Here's Max Keiser's tweet. I'm sensing Bitcoin will cross $15,000 this week. Confidence in central governments, central banks, and centralized fiat money is at a multi-decade low. And then he goes on to respond, I'm confident, so I just burned another $10,000 in USD shitcoin. Love it. Correlation does not equal causation, but whenever I burn a few thousand USD, BTC price goes up significantly. And then someone responded, you can sense price action? Dude, that's some serious superpowers right there. And Max, being the bold, badass maverick that he is, says, well, 35 years in the biz will do that. You know what I mean? So that's his prediction. Will that happen? Nobody knows, but much respect to him for saying what he believes, because there's nobody else out there predicting Bitcoin will hit $15,000 this week. I would love to know what you think. I do believe it has the potential to do so. We're going to look at the charts here in just a few moments, because Bitcoin has been on an upswing. And when Bitcoin breaks out and is bullish and has all these things working for it, anything is possible. You know, we've seen some unbelievable things, so nothing surprises me here at this point. All right, now let's get into the Bitcoin halving here coming up in 2020, and I'm going to show you the history of what's happened in the past. So the price began rising in November 2011. Again, the first halving ever occurred back in 2012, right? So in 2011, prior to the bull cycle, the price started to increase. And as you can see in the chart right below, you see there is a dotted line which represents the halving. And before the halving, it started to rise, maybe 3-4x. Then after the halving, we saw it total go up approximately 400x, as you can see here. The symmetry of the rally, 12 months before and 12 months after. So that was a 2-year cycle that we noticed of the halving, where the price was affected 12 months before and 12 months after, which was all bullish, which is pretty cool. Now, the majority of the price appreciation came obviously after the halving. Bitcoin rose from $13 up to the halving and went parabolic to $1,200 after. The overall price during this rally was about 400x, 350 to 400x, depending on the price source and liquidity you look at. Only 4x came before the halving. So we know the very first halving, what happened? It went 4x before the halving, and it went 400x total after the halving. Okay, well, let's move on, right? Let's get to the next chart here. And then we see, again, now this is 2016, 4 years later, we see the uptrend, right? And this time, I can read it right here, Bitcoin price rose significantly in November 2015 to kick off the second halving price, 8 months ahead of the halving. So this time, the price was affected positively 8 months prior. And again, this is happened in July 2016. The rally continued on after the halving and also lasted approximately 24 months like the previous one until a new time high of 19,000 was reached in December of 2017. And you can see the chart again. The dotted lines representing the halving. Before the halving, we did get an increase. After the halving, parabolic. So that's 2 cycles in a row. That's 8 years of data, right? We have one from 2012 and one from 2016, which gives us a window of what we could expect. Now, the majority of the appreciation, again, became after the halving. Bitcoin rose from 650 up to the halving and went parabolic to 19,000 after. The overall price appreciation during the rally was 80 to 90x, only 3x of which came before the halving. Now let's look at, we also got to keep in mind that this time a lot of institutional money is coming in. There was practically no institutional money back in 2012 and 2016. So we're at a whole different ballgame in the cycle. Now this is a very helpful chart, which I found very helpful. So let's take a look at it. So the first halving in 2012, November 28th, again, total went about 400x. 4x before the halving, and the rest was all after. The rally was 24 months in total, which is ultimately 12 months before and 12 months after. The accumulation range, the low, was between $200 to $300, and the accumulation lasted 10 months. The second halving, we saw a total of 80 to 90x. Only 3x of which was before the halving, and the majority of the parabolic rise was after the halving. The rally lasted 25 months, 9 months before, 16 months after. The low was $3,000 to $4,000 for the accumulation range, and the accumulation duration lasted 4 months. Now, again, we got about 9 more months till May of 2020. What do you believe is going to happen based upon the previous data, right? Because the only thing we can look at is what happened in the past during big pivotal times when Bitcoin actually have. Now, my prediction, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin 20-30x. Could it potentially 100x? Anything is possible. I mean, we've seen it 400x before after halving, right? Even if it only 20x, and let's say that was just conservative, would that excite you? I know it excites me. So this is just the tip of the iceberg for Bitcoin and where it's heading, and to just fathom we're only 9 months away from the third halving based upon the charts, which don't lie. That's pretty exciting times. So what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen after the next halving? Would love to read your feedback. If you hadn't had a chance to read this actual article, it's a good read. Take about 11 minutes to read. Now let's talk about Walmart. Yeah, talk about the evil of evils, right? All these evil corporations are creating their own cryptocurrencies. Well, why would they do something like that? Well, how many people shop at Walmart? And my condolences to anyone or any families that were affected by the Walmart shooting, which happened late last night. Somebody in Texas went crazy and started shooting up innocent people from 2 years old on up. It's one of the saddest things I've ever had to read, so my condolences go out to anyone who lost anybody in that tragic event. It's very sad. But yeah, they're creating their own coin. Bottom line, they got so many customers that any big corporation from Amazon, any of these tech giants, Google, expect them to release their own crypto. Why wouldn't they do that? They already have the audience cultivated that's going to use the coin, regardless if it's an evil corporation. McDonald's coin, I haven't heard any stories about it, but let's just say I would not be surprised if within the next 5-10 years, all of these giants have their own currencies, and it is what it is. It's just the direction we're going. All the major corporations are going to be tokenized. You know what I mean? That's where we're heading. Now let's talk about the Litecoin halving, which is actually tomorrow. 14 hours. How many of you are hodling some Litecoin? Maybe you're excited, like, hey, is the price going to blow up? Is it going to be just like the Bitcoin halving event? Here's my feedback based upon my research and what I do know, right? I do know that there is no correlation between the Bitcoin halving and the Litecoin halving. Two completely separate entities from two completely different and separate coins. With Bitcoin in the past, when there was a halving, we have all this data to show that things go parabolic, reaching new all-time highs. So we can expect that from Bitcoin. Now with Litecoin, considering 13 hours away, and considering Litecoin is, let's just go to Coin360 real quick and refresh and see where we're at. Litecoin is down in the last 24 hours, negative 2.25%, currently trading at $92. So you would think with having news like this that maybe Litecoin would go parabolic or go crazy. But here's what happened. A few days ago, maybe even a week ago, no, it was actually 3-4 days ago, Litecoin started to rise, and it went, I think, from roughly $89 all the way up to, I think, $98 or $99, and then it consolidated and went right back to where it is now. In my humble opinion, I do believe halving will affect Litecoin, but we're not going to see much of it now because it is not a alt market. The alts are continuing to bleed, and whether the coin is halving or not isn't going to change things and get people to start pumping the particular coin. So my honest feedback is probably the price that you see right now is already taking into consideration the halving. Things have already been affected by it, and then maybe the next alt season, which I personally believe will come after the next halving of Bitcoin. So we have quite a while before we see a true alt season again like we did at the end of 2017. But I do think if you're holding altcoins, you got to be in this for the long haul because Bitcoin dominance continues to rise and the price of your favorite altcoin continues to dwindle. When you go to CoinMarketCap, there's something you need to check out, right? I'm just going to show you this in case you don't know. So what you need to do is when you're looking at the market, instead of USD, change it to BTC, and it's going to show you some perspective of the coins in comparison to Bitcoin. So XRP is up almost 1% in comparison to Bitcoin after being down several percent for the week, right? Ethereum is down compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is down. Litecoin is down. Binance Coin is down. Tether is down. EOS is down. Bitcoin SV is down. Stellar is down. Monero's up a little bit. Tron's up a little. But you can see it's just a sea of red. And if you actually start to analyze the charts, you'll notice that there's nothing resurrecting altcoins anytime soon. So it's a sad reality, but it is what it is. The Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. We're currently at 66.8% on the market. And as that continues to rise, I mean, we've seen it as high as, what has it been as high as at one point? This is back in 2013. This is before like the altcoins, right? It was once that high. But then we've seen, let's look at 2017. This is July of 2017 or June of 2017. The Bitcoin dominance was 38%, right? That's when alts were crazy. And then over time, the BTC dominance has gone through the roof. And what happens is the altcoins lose value tremendously, even faster than they gain their value. That's just been dropping steadily. So it's pretty crazy to see, but that's how you can look up that particular data. I do appreciate you tuning into this video. If you got value, let me know in the comments down below. And the greatest compliment you can give me is drop kicking that subscribe button. I truly do appreciate that. I also want to stress that I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just an ordinary dude who happens to be passionate about crypto. I will never tell you what to do or what to trade. I can just share my opinions and thoughts based upon my experience. Once again, I appreciate you tuning into this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.